The architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth can be found at ae911truth.org, and the advertising campaign for raising awareness of Building 7 can be found at buildingwhat.org. And of course, both organizations require donations and funding to help continue spreading the word about 9/11 Truth. So I would ask my listeners, if they are in a position to do so, to go to those websites, check out the information, make sure that those are websites whose ideals and aims you support, and then support them with your monetary funds if you have them. But of course, money is not the only way to help support 9/11 Truth, and it's not even necessarily the most important or the most effective way. And so this is something that grassroots political activists have known for quite some time and have demonstrated time and time again, and that is also, of course, true in the 9/11 Truth movement. Of course, there have been numerous groups that have sprung up advocating 9/11 Truth and handing out free DVDs. In fact, as Sandra Hicks once said on the Corbett Report when I was talking to him, the historians of the future might see the free DVD as the political revolutionary tool of our age. There are just so many people out there that are handing out information person to person on the street that it really is creating a change in our society. And who can say how many of those people who are waking up to 9/11 Truth are doing so because they were once handed randomly a DVD about this information? Well, people who would know about that are obviously the activists involved in that work, and some of the activists who have been involved for quite some time are Truth Action Ottawa, a group working out of the Canadian capital of Ottawa, Canada, and they've been doing this since April 2007. On the 11th of every month, of every single month since April 2007, they've been on the streets handing out DVDs. And even in that time, those 3 years, they have seen an incredible growth in the acceptance and welcoming nature of the Ottawa people towards their actions. And more people in the Ottawa area are waking up as a result of that. And they've even managed to hand out some of their DVDs to people like former Prime Minister Joe Clark. So they're definitely doing some excellent work over there. And it was recently my honor to talk to Mark Young and Victor Cowenberg about Truth Action Ottawa and their latest campaign to encourage other 9/11 Truth Action groups to get out on the streets on September 11th and hand out at least 911 DVDs on this September 11th anniversary, as Truth Action Ottawa is going to do. So let's listen to an excerpt from that interview with Mark Young and Victor Cowenberg of Truth Action Ottawa. Well, Mark Young, let's start with you. If I'm not mistaken, you were the founder of Truth Action Ottawa, so tell us a little bit about the group and its history.
Well, basically I started out, it all started for me on April 9, 2007. I watched a 3-minute edit of a video called The Third Stage, and it was talking about the 11th of every month campaign, and come out and join us if you know what's going on in your city, represent on the 11th. So this was 2 days before April 11th, so I burned 50 discs and I stepped out onto the street and I handed them out. And that's basically how it started, and what I've done is I've maintained every month since April of 2007, we've gone out. So without fail, rain or shine, winter, summer, didn't matter. And it's pretty interesting because over the last 3 years, we've had, our ups and downs. We've seen all sorts of different things. We've been in many locations in Ottawa. And most recently, Victor can tell you the story, one of our last discs that went out last month on the 11th went to a former Prime Minister of Canada. He was actually walking right by. I'll let Victor tell the story. It's
it was literally our last disc of the night, and another one of our members was just about to hand it to someone when I spotted Joe Clark, one of the former Prime Ministers of Canada, and I literally snatched it out of his hands and gave it to Mr. Clark. And now Joe Clark is for a politician an incredibly friendly guy, and actually stopped to talk to us for a little bit, which was really nice. I'd met him before. Just being in Ottawa, you sometimes run into people like this, and it was literally our last disc of the night. So it just goes to show, always hang out until the end. You never know what's going to happen.
We've seen Who's that other guy we saw in front of Parliament? I'm drawing a blank right now.
Oh, the head of the
Native rights groups, yeah.
Yeah, Phil Fontaine.
Phil Fontaine, yes. We saw him too. He got our disc. We've got some media coverage over the last couple of years, but basically what we've done is we've maintained that in Ottawa on the 11th, if you do know what's going on, tell somebody or come out and join us. We've handed out DVDs. We started out with about 50 a month, and now on average it's always 300 a month, and we've been doing 300 a month for probably a year and a half now, easily, or maybe even 2 years. So we've given out a lot of discs now. This next one is, of course, September 11th, the 9th anniversary. Victor had a fantastic idea, and he posted about it, and it's already been picked up by a couple of We Are Change chapters. But I'm going to let Victor tell that one. We've really just been focusing on keeping the message going, and if not for people like us, the CBC would not have posted a piece on the Fifth Estate about the 9/11 Truth Movement with Richard Gage in it. They would not have done that if we hadn't have been out on the street every month. Not us personally. I mean people across Canada doing the truth actions every month or going out whenever and just keeping the message going. There's people in Edmonton, all across Canada. We've got people that are going out. And
Kitchener.
It's fantastic. Kitchener, from Halifax to Vancouver.
There's actually a new one in Moncton now.
Great. Yeah. So the fight's not over by any means. And Victor, do you want to go ahead and tell what you came up with?
Well, what happened was September the 11th was fast coming upon us, and we had some plans that didn't quite work out. So I just had a brainstorm. I thought, well, what's our strong point? And obviously our strong point is handing out discs. So I thought, well, let's just hand out a whole lot of discs, and 911 may not seem like a lot for some big cities like New York or Los Angeles, but here in Ottawa, that's a huge number of discs to hand out, and it's being that it's a Saturday, we can show up we're showing up outside of Ottawa's busiest mall at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're just going to hand out discs until they're gone. It'll probably take us 4 to 6 hours. And basically, while I was writing up the write-up for our website about it, I thought, well, maybe I'll just throw in a challenge to see if there's other truth groups around the world that might want to do the same kind of thing. Maybe we can multiply this. So I added, on Facebook and on our website with a few emails as well, just to see if I could get some other groups interested in it. And there has been a bit of, a little bit of interest in it. A couple of We Are Change chapters, one in Birmingham and the other one in the States somewhere. The name escapes me at the moment, but there are 2 We Are Change chapters that have signed on, and 9/11 Truth News picked it up. So the idea is out there, and hopefully some more people will take up the call and just go big. I mean, a lot of truthers are going to be in New York City on the 10th anniversary, so we should make the 9th anniversary as big as possible in our hometowns.